Good day, everyone. It's KW, the blue collar worker, back at it again with a new video. This video is something I always wanted to do, something I always wanted to talk about. This video is about the challenges of relocating and pretty much what's involved with it, in my opinion. Let's get started. Again, I'm no guru in traveling, no expert at it, just merely my opinion, and we all have one. So let's get started. Traveling. Always wanted to travel, and I'm trying to do that now. And, I always said, one day I want to relocate somewhere. I want to relocate. But when we say that, do we ever do the research about what it's going to take to relocate somewhere? I always said I wanted to live in Hawaii. I want to live in Hawaii. The only problem with that is relocating. Are you taking your furniture with you? Are you going to buy something when you get there? Are you going to have a job when you get there? Do you think you're going to like island life probably for the rest of your life? Because Hawaii is, I've never been there. I saw a lot of videos on it, spoke with a lot of people that lived in Hawaii and been to Hawaii. One day I'd like to go. I almost went right before the pandemic started. I lost a lot of money with that trip. Airfares, everything canceled. And it was a mess. It was a mess. That was my Hawaii trip. It was a mess. And then even if I'd have went there, they had a 2-week quarantine, which all I had on my job was 2 weeks. So how was that going to work? I'm going to stay in my room the whole 2 weeks or 12 days or whatever they say it was? I don't think so. I didn't go to Hawaii would go to Hawaii rather, to stay in my room and quarantine. So I had to put that one back on the agenda list as a place to go. Now, let's say if I did want to move to Hawaii and I did get the opportunity, some of the things that you got, and this really, folks, is with everything. It's not just Hawaii. We have to take under consideration, let's say if you own a house, right? Okay, now you got to sell your house. You got to sell your house. Then if you still a working age and you don't have enough money that you can live off your finances, then you probably have to get another job over there. So do you have a job when you go over there? Because you just can't go places. And I see people do it all the time. Sometimes it works, a lot of time it doesn't work. Go places and then hope for the best when they get there. They don't really have a job lined up. They just go over there and move and I guess get an apartment and hopefully they don't try to buy a house, but you never know. And then they get there and then they realize that maybe it's not as easy to find a job that they thought it would be prior to them moving there. Then you got to ask yourself, do you buy all new stuff when you get there? Or do you pay a big price to have everything moved over there? And I don't mean just Hawaii. Now let's get back into talking general. Do you, pay to have your stuff shipped somewhere? And I heard that can be kind of expensive too. And from what people tell me, when they relocated, it was actually easier if they took their furniture with them. It would probably been more economically make sense just to sell your furniture or whatever you have here, or give it away or whatever you're going to do, and just buy new stuff. Because what it costs to ship it probably could be more than what the furniture is worth, in my opinion. So, do you take your furniture or do you just buy all new stuff? My thinking is I'll probably just buy all new stuff. I don't want to be shipping everything. The only thing I probably would ship is my vehicle because I got to have a car, right? Unless I can sell that here too, where I'm at, and then go over there and then just purchase me a new car. I haven't gotten that far yet. So I would right now. I think I would probably, if unless I got a really nice car that I just can't part ways with, I'd probably just sell that and take the money. And when I get there, buy me a new car, buy me new furniture, and then hopefully I did my homework and land up a job. So when I get there, I got me some income coming in. So now, I took care of the furniture part, took care of the car part, took care of the employment part. And in one of my speeches, I talks about that. Always have a plan. That's in one of my speeches. Always have a plan. So look that up and look at that video on having a plan. Right now, I'm talking about a plan. I'm not just going over there willy nilly. I'm gonna just fly over there and hope for the best. No, you got to make sure you got a plan. And if you're taking somebody with you, your significant other, it's smart to have a plan, especially if you have him or her uproot themselves to go with you. Because if things don't work out, not only do you have to look at your situation, but you got to also look at their situation. What are they going to do about money and whatever else their needs are going to be? You got to think about that. You got a lot of homeless people that move from another state to another state. Things didn't work out. Money ran out. They wind up on the street. And that's some real stuff right there. And I vow and hope and pray that I'm never on the street. So, in my case, I would really have to plan it out and just go over anything and everything before I make that move. I would have to say, okay, what are you going to do with the furniture? What are you going to do with the car? What are you going to do about employment? What are you going to do about the house if you own a house? Are you going to sell it or rent it out? And I did a video on rental properties. In my position, I probably would sell the house. I would not try to move somewhere else and then rent my house out long distance. I don't think that's going to work. And I'll tell you why. Because people know if you move out of state, you ain't checking on that property like you would probably do if you only live like 5 miles away. It ain't happening. You ain't coming from Hawaii or Florida or wherever to check on that house. So they get full rain on that house. And then what happens with the upkeep? Do you trust them to do the upkeep? People say a lot of things. I remember one year one of my properties had a rodent problem. And the tenants told me convincingly, we'll take care of it, KW. All you have to do is just give us the spray and we'll do it ourselves. Guess what? They didn't. I really had a rodent problem. And I couldn't figure it out. I said, man, I'm giving them all the materials to work with. When I finally hired an exterminator to take care of the problem, and I went with them the first day, all those materials was full intact in their pantries, closets, and stuff. They never used it once. And that was a valuable lesson to me. But let's not get into that, though. That's not what this video is about. So I would probably sell a house too, because I don't want to deal with trying to collect rent, do repairs, and all that stuff in another state. That's just too much. So I would probably sell the house, right? So now let's look at it. I'm gonna sell the house. I'm gonna sell my car. Try to have a job lined up for me, and find some place to live. That's important. But then what happens when you get there now? Do you just roll the map on the globe one time and just stop it with your finger and say, this is where we moving? Or do you just look at the place and say, hey, you know what? Florida seemed like a great place to live. Let's move to Florida. But you didn't do any homework or research to say, hey, what is it like to live in Florida? You know, it's beautiful on TV, but did you know they have like flying roaches? I forgot the name they call it, but it's like flying roaches. And you can look it up, you know. And they have, all kind of insect problems. You got to cut the grass if you own a house all year round. They prone to, what is it? I know they get a lot of rain in Florida, so don't quote me on this. You know, don't get on my case if I say something wrong. But I'm just giving you examples. You know, what is the traffic like in Florida? Because you have a lot of people going there as tourists. So, that's going to add to the equation too. If you live in a popular city, you'll probably be overrun by tourists. Probably, Florida is hot, so probably all year round or mostly all year round, and then they say they got alligators. Now imagine that sucker surprising you if you got a pool or what have you, if you're on a golf course, if you got that type of money that you're gonna run into an alligator, or transportation. What is the transportation like? I mean, we look at other places, right? And we say, oh, that place is nicer than where I live. But they all got, it's like really pick your poison. Really. I live in Chicago. Chicago, we get snow, cold weather. But you go somewhere else, they got their own set of problems. Maybe it's you move to Phoenix or Arizona in general, it's too hot. I don't want to be burning up all day. It's beautiful, but if you got to be inside all day, it's too hot. Or moving to Las Vegas, or move to Boston, where Boston is beautiful, but then, they get a lot of snow. A lot of snow. New York too. New York get a lot of snow. Maryland get a lot of snow. Washington get a lot of snow. The Carolinas, they get weather too. So you got to take all that under consideration. You move to New Orleans. I had a great time in New Orleans. But then they prone to their own problems. So it's like pick your poison on where you want to live and really maybe even go there a few times to kind of, maybe different times of the year to kind of get an idea of what it's going to be like to live there. Because it's very important because what happens is you wind up moving right back home, because it wasn't as what you thought it would be. But I'm not trying to talk you out of relocating because one day I would like to relocate somewhere. I'm still working on it. What would be a great place for me to go? But you got to do your homework. You got to plan it out. You got to go visit the place several times in different parts of the year to kind of see, do you want to deal with the place all year round? And what is the job outlook like if you still want to work? How much money is it going to take you to live in your new place? Is it going to be more or less? Can you afford it? These are all the things you have to ask yourself before you go willy-nilly just, I'm over there, let's go. Yeah, you can do that. But it's always good to have a plan when you talk about relocating. So that's my take on it. I just thought I'd do a quick video on relocating. Again, this is KW, the blue collar worker, back at it with a new video. And I'll see you in my next video. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.